Hello, Helpmeets. I'm Yvette Benson, Chancellor of Help Meet You, the online computer program that allows us to learn our Helpmeet role. If you're anything like me, oh my goodness, when I first got married, I thought I knew what I needed to be a kingdom wife. But I soon found out through destruction of my marriage, unfortunately, I did not know. So I put together some courses online so that you can do them at your own pace, at your own time, to get the revelation you need to be a helpmeet that is suitable. In Genesis 2:18, it states that God knew that man should not be alone, so he created a helper that is suitable. I want you to take these classes so you can be the helpmeet that is suitable just for your king. Whether you're married, preparing to be married, or possibly having struggles in your marriage, these courses will help you. Check us out, helpmeetyou.com.
Priest, Prophet, King, PPK. It's not just a brand, it's my lifestyle. It is something that I use biblically to understand my role as a husband and a father. As a priest, I represent my family to God by prayer and supplication. As a prophet, I represent God to my family by declaring over them, by prophesying over them, by declaring God's word over their life. As a king, I govern what God has entrusted me with by using priest and the prophet role to come with godly wisdom and divine understanding to be able to do the things that a king is supposed to do. I'm Apostle Gerald Benton. Go check out our website, ppkglobal.org. ppkglobal.org.
I'm Yvette Benton, a sanctified wife, a helpmeet that is suitable. According to the word in 1 Corinthians 7:14, a sanctified wife can sanctify her husband. And I believe and received that blessing and miracle. You can have that same miracle. Sanctify yourself. Don't let anyone tell you it takes two. I'm a living witness. It only takes one that is sanctified and holy, set apart, fit for the master's use. Sanctify your husband in prayer.
My God, it is simply amazing what God is actually doing.
Dual dominion. Instead of just one of us making it, God truly did a miracle so we both could make it together. The mountain.
Mountain of family.
The Bentons are taking the mountain of family.
Dual Dominion Conference is going down. Where's it happening?
Atlanta Hilton Airport. We need to see you October 25th through the 27th, whether you're married or single. Get to the conference. Register at GeraldandYvette.com.
We were hurting,
but God healed us.
we were broken.
But God saw fit to put us back together.
Today we're walking together in our purpose.
And now we teach other couples how to do the same.
I'm Gerald Benton.
And I'm Yvette Benton. And this is Fiery Topics in Marriage.
Well, hello, everyone. This is the evening we've been waiting for. This is our Marriage Works If You Work It podcast. We are having our fiery topics in marriage, and we're always excited to give a fiery topic for a fiery topic in marriage. But we have our amazing coaches with us today. So we got get a chance to interview them, to find out some information, get some tips from individuals who are married that understand there's some fiery topics we can talk about. There's some fiery concepts. And so many of you that have been on our podcast, you know that we've been talking about being married to
a strong woman.
That's a fiery topic. That's a fiery topic right there.
Fiery topic.
Super fiery topic. So we were thrilled when our coaches agreed to come to our conference next month, Dual Dominion, because God showed us dual dominion, ruling and reigning together. We figured out that one of the main reasons Satan came after our marriage is because he was afraid of us working together.
That dual dominion.
He was afraid of us being on one accord.
Come on.
And then not just praying, but also operating in ministry and marketplace.
Ooh, Jesus.
So dual dominion is so key in what God is doing. And he's raising up kingdom couples to do the work of the Lord, whether you're on a stage or whether you're supporting, whether you're operating in your gifts and in your calling. It is so important. So we have some amazing people with us. Our coaches, Coach Tommy and Coach Sophia, we are honored that you are able to be here with us tonight. Say hello to the people.
Hello. We're excited, so thank y'all so much. We're excited to be on. Share.
Thank you. Definitely do that. We will be placing this on our podcast tomorrow, but we thought let's go live and enjoy the people on our platform. Thank you for putting this on your platform, Coach Sophia. This is an honor for us. You will be our speaker at our conference October 25th through the 27th in ATL. And all of that information will be on our websites, geraldandyvette.com. But we want to get to this interview. Our coaches are recently married, so not yet 2 years, which is absolutely amazing. And the things that you all have accomplished are just only mind-blowing, only God could do. Really, truly, only God could do. So tell us a little bit about some of the journey that you all have had as you are pursuing your dual dominion.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having us on your platform. It's an absolute honor. You guys are very, very, very appreciated because you do such an excellent job displaying servant leadership. You guys are leading in the apostolic, leading in ministry and marketplace, and to just be able to set an example of such honor and, lead strong and then still serve and honor. That dynamic is just so powerful. So we definitely want to honor you all for that. I love you all completely.
We love you
too.
Man, it's been a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half, and you said this journey, a lot has happened. The wind of God has been on it. You actually said something to me probably a couple of months ago. You said the Lord had given me a wisdom supernaturally, and we're seeing that, but we've relocated. So we are now living in Texas, which is the biggest thing that we were able to do dually and together, because the Lord told us to literally start over from scratch. And that meant not taking a fork, a spoon, or iron, nothing, just our clothes and shoes, and relocate and start new together, to build together. So that was the beginning of a very huge move, I would say, in dualship. And then we're beginning to do ministry together. So with coaching, Coach Tommy is a part of things that the coaching programs and different things that I was doing. And so he has been such an asset to add value and to help and to just really be an intricate part in what God is having me to do in ministry, to take he has taken a load off of me tremendously. he's somebody that I didn't know I needed until I got him, and much hope I really needed until he showed up. So that's kind of where we at as far as some of the journey. But it's been beautiful to take what I've done solo in ministry, marketplace, and in my personal life as a woman, and to now come lead well. But I love the fact that I can come under and be led by him. So that's just kind of where I think, yeah, your turn.
What she said.
I love it.
So we were just talking last week. We were talking on the subject of being married to a powerful woman, and I remember a conversation me and you had in regards to getting ready to get married, and the type of woman that you're actually getting ready to marry, and now you're like walking in it, and I'm watching you walk in it. Tell me, what is it like for you to walk in this journey with a powerful woman?
It's an honor and a privilege. I get a joy out of it because I get to serve my wife. And, most men would, they take the pride and they let it go way up there, way, way up there. That's not me. I don't mind serving because if Jesus could serve, why can't I serve?
Come on.
And why not can I serve? I get to minister with her and travel and do all this good stuff, but it's about the people. It's not about just us. It's about the ministry. It's about the people getting what they need. So, and I'm a servant. I'm just a server, period, from my heart. But to do this together is truly amazing. And when we talk, I didn't know the capacity of how far it would go and what would entail and everything. But I was, like I told you, I'm up for the challenge. If she's my wife, I'm going to do whatever I can, to make this thing not last, but make it go forever, because it's I get an honor out of doing it because, I watched my mom and dad, until my dad passed, I saw how he served my wife, his mom, my mom, but I also saw how good a relationship they had. He didn't mind doing what he's supposed to do, but in certain things, I took, the good and the bad. But I just know that if I get a powerful woman, if she's powerful and we work together, we both become more powerful.
Come on
now.
That's so huge. That's so big, because we actually talked about that when we were having the most challenging part of our separation. An apostle said to him, if you know who she is, how much more powerful do you have to be for God to call you to cover her and to lead her? So even though I may have been the one behind the podium, think about what's needed for me to be covered. And Coach Sophia, you just said something amazing. He was a piece you did not know you needed. That's so important to say to people who are married and people who are preparing for marriage, right? Because a lot of times we can do things so well. That's where Submitted and Strong came from. We may be strong, but we don't even know what it's like. I didn't know what I was missing until I literally fought for our marriage, saw in him what God saw in him, and then now realizing I could have missed all of this. I could have missed my covering. I could have missed coming into agreement with a powerful man of God. And so if you could tell a person preparing to be married, maybe a single woman, what's some of the things you would suggest doing to prepare yourself? Because a lot of times people think, I'll just wait till I'm married. But there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of deliverance. Can you speak to telling a non-married person what it's like on the other side?
Yeah, that's really good. One of the things when I knew I was ready to be married, I kind of thought at one point I was ready, but when I would ask these questions in my head, What if he tell me to take a break from ministry? What if he tell me slow down? What if he start to tell me, what to do in the sense of trying to protect and cover me? What will my response be? And when I was single and not married, my response would be, he ain't about to control my ministry. He ain't about to take over my ministry. I'm a woman of God. I built this. I did this. So I wasn't ready. And so even when I would see women serving their husbands, fixing their plate and doing it, in my mind, it looked like, why are you doing that? He can get his own food. I wasn't ready, right? And so I also thought, okay, yeah, I'm ready for a husband because I was looking more the surface of what I needed. Like he could take out the trash and he can fill the gas tank and he could, help out, financially, that kind of stuff. This is when I knew I was ready. And it was really prophetic because, you all prophesied that, but we probably get into it. But I remember saying, Lord, I'm ready. I'm ready for my husband. I'm ready to be a wife. So when I said I was ready to be a wife, which I had never said, then that's when I knew in my heart. And so when the Lord brought those questions back to me as a strong single woman traveling, doing well, very successful. And he said, what if your husband tell you take a break? And I said, I would love that. Wow, because he don't just see the prophetess, he will actually see the woman. And when everybody is pulling on the prophetess, they'll suck you dry. They don't care about the woman inside. And although the prophetic is my office, the woman is still there. And so if he was to tell me that, I'm ready for somebody who I know concerned about the woman and not what I can give them in the ministry. So immediately that's when the Lord said, you ready? Then he said, what if he tell you to, he hungry, get up. Now I barely can cook. So my desire immediately was, he wouldn't even have to tell me because I want to serve him. I want to fix his plate. Like I want to look out. And when I was having those self-assessments, and then when I got delivered from the false humility, because so many women, when you're single and you've been single a long time, the disappointment of marriage and the idea of it will make you say, I don't need no man. I don't want no man. And so we're actually cursing what God wants to bring us. So the moment I said, I'm ready to be a wife, it was like a healing came over. And then the Lord started to bring me through the healing process. So when he brought my husband, I was whole and I was healed. And I had the ability to be loved well and to love well.
Oh, come on, Coach.
Say that again, Coach.
Come on, Coach.
To love well and to love well, because it's to reciprocate. I love. Like I'm a tangible. You feel my love. And if I can do that in covenant relationships with people, they always say, I feel your love. Imagine what I could give to my person. So I had healed, whole love that was specifically separate from any kind of love I would give anyone else. And so when I was ready for that, the Lord brought my husband. It was just like that.
My God.
And you all have experienced a lot of what is supernatural. And I was talking to one of our spiritual sons, and sometimes when people look at it, you all make it look easy, right? That there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of laughter. You all make it look easy, but then we stopped and started thinking there's a lot of work. So this is our Marriage Works If You Work It podcast, because we say all the time, the work we put in is worth it, but it is a lot of work. Like, don't get it twisted. You see the smiles, you see the travel, but there's work behind it. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you all do to make sure you're putting the work in, let's say for your friendship, for communication. What's that like for the Wilsons?
It's communication, it's talking, it's I gotta do more reading. But
I'm telling you, he's not favorite Bible saved. He read it on his phone. I didn't see you.
I got that phone. I read it on my Bible. I read. But I mean, it's working together. But then also for me, and I some people don't know my story. I was married for 2.5 years. So I have experience. Yes. So I have, as they say, you have skin in the game. I have experiences. So to make this one is gonna be better. So the better, this marriage is better. But it's also, learning each other, understanding I know when she's down, she knows when I'm down, and we know how to pick each other up. And like they say, you see social media will fool you. They see the laugh, they see all the good stuff. They don't know behind the scenes. Like just after this, I gotta go pack because we leave at 7:00 in the morning to get on the airplane. So I mean, it's a lot intel behind the scenes that they don't see, but but for ministry, it just makes it work. That's the good part about it, because we're going to feed the people, help the people. It's a need, and we're going. My wife, she gonna preach. She gonna prophesy. She gonna do what she do, and to do it together, like I say earlier, it's powerful. It's I've been in church all my life, but just to see the people crying, coming up there, just telling these stories of how you have changed my life just by watching us on social media. And even it's just this only a year and a half in marriage, people are saying, they think about marriage differently.
Yeah. Can I just chime in on that too with the work thing? Because you mentioned the communication and so he's an introvert, of what you call more quiet. And I'm really loud and expressive. And so when we first got married, the first month I said to myself, oh God, how am I do this? Oh my God, because the communication, we was trying to figure it out. And so the way we figured out, when I realized when he get quiet, I didn't realize that. I'm thinking what's wrong? How he getting quiet? And not talking through a situation. But then the more we talked and did our premarital, we remembered in some prophetic words that it's our personality and our natures. And so we have to be able to find that communication where he likes to not shut down, but be quiet, process, and get through it. And then I'm more so want to figure it out and find out, and so what we, in the beginning, there was a little challenges, but now, when I tell you the communication is, if it's an elephant in the room, we're dealing with it. And the way we deal with it is we don't suppress it. So whether it's a text message, gentle text, it's a hug. I definitely I don't know. He done learned this thing where if he know I'm about, he can feel me, he'll give me a hug, and whatever I was gonna address, kind of I forgot.
Let it all go.
Let's go. Tommy, let's go.
A hug is healing when physical touch is your love language, right? So him knowing your love language, you knowing his, he needs to sit down, have his time to regroup. That's a big deal. But a lot of times we don't spend the time to learn that.
And to learn it at a short period of time. Mm-hmm. What you just said takes people, and we've been doing this for a minute, a lot of people years to even get to the understanding of communication.
Right.
But let alone have a introvert and extrovert personalities in the same room, and now trying to figure out each other. And once again, it's the supernatural that's been placed on you both to be able to communicate to each other extremely fast and working through it and finding your own formula. Your formula is different, might be different than our formula, right. But it's your formula because it works for your house. It doesn't matter what it works for somebody else's house, but it works for our house. And so this is what it's what we do in our house is what we do in our house. And the communication aspect of it is something that the enemy has always tried to use to divide relationships. If you can't communicate with each other, how can you agree with each other? And so listening to what you're saying and to know that it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not talking 5 years. We're not talking 10 years. We're talking almost 2 years of literally finding your language and then Coach Tommy literally jumping into an arena that is a gauntlet for a person that's an introvert, a person that is set, set back, and now to get in it and to hear him and to watch him and to watch how he moves now, watch how he takes care of you, watch how he flows with you. It's a blessing because I'm watching it from being able to be up close and to be away and watch how it all folds out and listening to it. And so my question to you, Coach Tommy, is this: when did you get to the place of I got to figure out how to complement what I'm in? How do I find my role, my lane in the fast lane that Coach Sophia was already driving in, and now you getting in, and now you the driver of that lane.
Yeah. So
You in that Lamborghini. Now you driving the Lamborghini.
Right. Well, I mean, really, it's the Holy Spirit. He guides me. And yeah, she did it for a long time as a single woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's married, But I look at it like this, like you just said, even like in the airplane, you have a pilot and co-pilot. In that situation for us, it just switches. When she's preaching, she's the pilot, but I'm the co-pilot to help.
That's so good, man.
And then when I may minister or whatever I do, then we just switch sweeps. That's all. But we're still right there together, though. It's not that she's way on the other side of town over here. No, we're still together. It's just we just switch from co-pilot to pilot to back and forth. But it's also being mindful of her needs and what she needs at that point in time. And not I know how, yes, I'm the husband, but when she's preaching, I'm her security, I'm her armor bearer, I'm whatever she needs. Yes, I'm still a husband, but you got to know when to switch hats.
Come on.
That part.
I'm doing all that in one, So that's what I do.
And I will say one thing that was a part of the demise of our relationship, we didn't understand how to operate in that. And I'll say for me, I didn't understand how to operate in that in a way that kept me submitted.
Yeah.
Right? Because it takes a strong man to say that, but also no, I'm still the head of the house. Also, no, I'm still the head of this relationship. And I had to learn as a submitted and strong woman, even though I might be leading some things, even though I may be preaching and teaching, writing books, when he steps in the room, people can see now who I'm submitted to. It's an understanding that we have. And if our spouse does not understand it, and if we don't spend time learning the order of God, see, we're in kingdom marriages. We can't do what the world does. We have to do things differently. And so just because I have certain gifts and calling does not mean that I'm not submitted to my husband. So I would love to hear from you all. Have people really taken to the fact that you are so submissive? Because I've watched you, and thank God for the opportunity to see you all prior to Coach, prior to getting married, literally being there when we were speaking, when you said, I'm ready, and literally watch God bring him into your life supernaturally. But what do people say about, yeah, we should get the picture of just literally praying at her feet, like, where is he? Like, let's go. But what do people say about you being so submissive when you are so strong?
I kind of don't even allow it in my ear gate. So, I really kind of been very sensitive because I've been leaning to God. And I love that you said kingdom marriage, because our foundation of our marriage and the infrastructure of it is founded upon God. So, I would know when our devotion is off privately, our individual devotion, because then we're off. Something's off. Like, you got to get with God to realign that so that we can stay in the structure of because I couldn't. I honestly, I cannot. I know I yell. Like I yell. I've never raised my voice in a year and a half. Like usually your real self show up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm able to say, babe, I really need to have a hard conversation. But he made me feel safe that I can have a hard conversation without him shutting down. He literally, like, so when you say take work, this man literally responds with what I need because he's learned. And it take work, even though he may want to be like, man, I'm going upstairs, I'm gonna watch TV, I don't feel like, but he's tender to what I just addressed without ignoring it. And so that's why I'm able to submit. And that's just honestly a lot of strong women, you can't submit if you don't feel that you have a safe space to be vulnerable and to be your weakest, especially when you're strong. So the work that it took was he had to create a space and a love that made me feel like I can trust submitting and coming under him because he had the capacity to lead. And I'm used to when you're single and strong and you have a strong relationship with God, you know, like it's nobody prepared me though for like there's a difference when you get married. Your relationship's still the same, but you can't manipulate God and bypass the man and go submit and surrender to God. Like, oh God, no, you got to get it right. And I remember the first time I knew submission was real was a time I thought I could use the single Sophia relationship with God. He made me feel some type of way, and I'm just saying, like, tell myself, and I go praying to God, and I'm crying out. And the Lord said, go apologize before you come. I'm like, he's wrong. He is wrong. And I ain't feel no presence. I'm like, where's my God that as soon as I cry, you answer? Go apologize. Make it right with him. It ain't about if who right or wrong. Humble yourself because that is submission, right? When it ain't all beauty, man, I'm so sorry for the way I said or did, and got it right and immediately. So when people come with me trying to say things because submission look different in everybody's house because everybody don't have that kind of relationship with God. So that submission gonna look different. So I really guard my ear gate and really just listen to trusted people who I know have kingdom marriages.
That's so good. What about you, Coach Tommy? Do people say things like my husband and I talk about, and when we were on our broadcast, we talk about there were men that said things to him when I started in ministry.
Yeah, they were. You get the sidebar talk. You holding you watching her, you praying for her, you reading for her. Are you really? Is it really worthy? Are you a man? It's trying to attack your manhood, but not understanding that this is a servant place. They've lost the ability to see what a servant really and truly looks like. And because if you have a servant's heart, it doesn't even matter what the situation is. You're going to serve. You're going to serve, period. And to serve your wife, that what's going to benefit you. Listen. When we was just talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. If you serve and cultivate the Proverbs 31 woman, the powerful Proverbs 31 woman. So now we're going to add power to everything that is locked into a Proverbs 31 woman. And you start cultivating that. You start nurturing that. And everything that's locked inside of her was to benefit you.
Come on.
It's to benefit you. And see, if they lose the concept or lose the eyesight of that, then they're operating in a worldly and a carnal mindset. So it took me a while to bypass it because my mind was into I was struggling with identity. Right. And so you're not struggling with identity. When you came into this, you knew who you were. Right. You knew your value. You knew what you did. You knew what you had. Like you said, you got skin in the game. You've been it. You've seen this. You've done this before. And now you're not coming into it like a puppy. You coming into a full-grown man. I understand this. I understand how to take care of my wife. I know my mistakes that I had last time. This is going to be better. Like you just said, better.
And so have you come across any of that?
I haven't came across that because my circle is strong and they understand what marriage is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know my net worth. I know my value. I know who I am as a man. So you can't let everybody in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion is your opinion.
Come on.
And that's it. I can't pay my bills with your opinion. So what you
Sir.
Hold up. You are not gonna drop that one, and I can't catch it. Drop that one more time for me.
Your opinion doesn't pay none of bills over here.
Not over here.
So why should I even let that in one ear and go out there? It's not even gonna get in my ear because what you think you really don't know. Because the only way you know is if you live with me. My wife lives with me. She knows me. That's it. So don't let no one tell you how you should live and what you should do.
Come on.
So important.
Come on.
That's so key.
That's good.
Because we had to learn that the hard way. We're so thankful for God, showing both sides of the coin, right? We went the wrong way. We didn't have the right circle. And what you all are sharing and showing is those mindsets of submission and humility, knowing your worth. And so for those couples who may be struggling, and have gone the wrong way, we can share. You can turn things around once you get the right circle, once you focus in on your own servanthood, work on your own heart, your own deliverance, get yourself ready. Because what Coach Sophia said was, I was ready to be a wife. Unfortunately for me, I was literally already married and didn't really know how to be a kingdom wife or a helpmeet. I didn't know how to. So once I realized, guess what? I may already be married, but I can make this change. God can redeem the time. God can help me get from point A to point B. You all have what is like this springboard, and you're able to jump into it quickly. But what we don't want is for people to say, oh, I don't have that. I don't have that, but you can. But you can't. All things are possible. There's nothing impossible. So you can make a shift in your environment. You can make a shift in your heart and in your mind and literally start living what we're talking about, which is dual dominion. Because having the opportunity to work together, come into agreement. The foundational scripture for our dual dominion conference is Matthew 18:19. And it is that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. It's touching and agreeing, because you think about in less than 2 years, Coach Tommy, you moved from Texas to Chicago, because that's what God, I'm sure, told you to do at that time. And then collectively, you all had to have made a decision together. It's time for us to move from Chicago back to Texas. And so you were touching and agreeing. Share with us a little bit about when you moved. You obviously had to touch and agree on moving, leaving everything behind. Talk to the people about how important it is for touching and agreeing.
It's your life. Your life is on the line if you don't.
Woo.
When I went through my COVID and pneumonia, all I had to believe was that God will make a way.
Mm.
So if he's put me in this position to be the head of the house, I got to talk to God, and he has to guide us. But also touching and agreeing together, we knew what we wanted. And I talk about that in my book, a need and a want.
Mm.
So we know what we needed, we know what we wanted. God will open the door for you to walk through, and so double doors. And it happened just like that. So when you leave and you let faith take over, see, most people faith is just, it rolls off the tongue too easy. They just say, oh, I got faith. No, Faith is believing with your eyes closed, blindfolded.
Yeah.
Come
Come
on.
on.
Walking on a tightrope, going across with nothing on the side. That's having faith in God, where He gonna guide us. He's gonna get us there to where we need to be. So touching and agreeing is your life. As they say at show, your lifeline. Yeah, your lifeline is God. That's it.
I love that.
That's real good.
I love that. You just alluded to your book.
Really
Tell
good.
us a little bit about your book. I know you've released it since you all have been married, and you've shared that you weren't an author before. And so even though sometimes people see Coach Sophia preaching, the union has really multiplied even some gifts that you have, Coach Tommy. So can you tell us about your book?
Right. So what I can say about that is, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and I'll find favor. See,
Come on.
what everybody see now is the favor that I'm experiencing through my wife.
Wow.
See, the favor is all that good stuff, but it's the experience that she had in writing the books. So when you meet the right person, the right one for you, they will unlock some things that in you. I didn't know I was an author back then. God knew. So yes, later date is about how I overcame a marriage of 21 and a half years, overcoming feeling as a failure as a father, as just destitute, didn't know what he's gonna do at 46 years old. I talk about getting overcoming. I talk about getting back in the dating world and doing all that type of stuff, but to say, well, I want to be married again. This ain't for me. You see the red flags. When I said I want to be married again, that's when it happened. So what everybody's seeing now is a part of my story, which is a later date. Thank y'all for plugging that. It's on Amazon.
Grab your copy.
Get your copy. It's a good book. It's an easy read. It's
you
an
also
easy
tell
read.
them how we met and everything, how you moved me and how you, because I'm a
I swept off your feet.
Knock me right off of my feet.
Yeah. Pleasure of being there when you all were first getting together for your first date. It was so sweet. Like we were able to see, and we thank God for being able to see certain things, because literally on your first date, we were able to be
No, that was the second date though. Y'all didn't know, nobody knew about the first one. That was the second date.
Oh, second date. I'm sorry. The second date. Lord Jesus, the second date.
That's when he had found out that
Oh, you was wait, no, scratch it. You was for the first date. Okay, back there, because I told you gotta get through Gerald. I'm gonna get Gerald out the way. You gotta get through Gerald, because Gerald, he be covering me and he look out for me. You gotta, I ain't told him yet, so you get through him, we good. So yeah, that was the first one.
That was the first date. That first date.
And he did that. That he was standing at the door when we first came in, and we talked, and we went to the back, and we went outside, and we talked some more. And I'll just have a couple things. It's the smile for me.
Amen.
It's the smile for me.
But that talks to the circle, right? That talks to your circle, having people around you that really are going to think kingdom. They're not going to think worldly. They're not going to give you ungodly advice. It talks really about the circle, because this dual dominion is imperative for success. This dual dominion is something that God put in place because he gives you an automatic person in your life to come into agreement with. It gets you that agreement right away because the two are becoming one. And you now have agreement in prayer. You have agreement when you fast. It accomplishes so much. So what does Satan want to do? He wants to try to divide so you don't get the agreement. So you don't get the advantage of being able to speak things into existence and already having the multiplication of the of prayer of agreement, of the prayer of agreement.
And it was really good to watch. Because one thing, we pray for you, Coach, was that when he does come up, that he's going to meet every need that you ask for. And I really and truly believe when I met Tommy standing before me, it was that's why I was really and truly so comfortable with him. And then to watch you smile and get now you giggle and I gotta calm you down every now and then, but that's just after you coming down. But to watch you with Tommy and to hear you talk and to watch you do things and to listen, and I'm like, my God, this is supernatural. She's getting this, she's understanding this supernaturally, and she has the right one. It's the very thing that we pray for our kids, to have the right spouse that will elevate them, that will push them, that will be the one that would both my daughters and our sons, that would be the woman to help them, and them being the a husband that will protect them, and all the vice versa. And so watching you two has really and truly blessed us to be able to, be up close to watch it. And like I told Coach Tommy the first time, if you can keep us smiling, I'm good. That's why I'm always, when I see the pictures, all I gotta do is say, it's the smile for me. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because it's Coach Tommy, you studying her. You study her, you watch her, you pay attention to her. You're very observant. You might not be saying them, but my God, you're very observant of what is happening around her, what's happening. What's happening in her. What's happening in our mind. And so you've really and truly, in a short period of time, have worked to get into this place where you are walking as one. Yeah. You're walking as one, and that's beautiful to me. And I'm so proud. I'm so happy, Coach, even for the joy you have. You know what I mean? It's not like you don't have joy, because you're a joyful person. You'll giggle, laugh, and then you'll chop somebody up in a minute. That's you. And to learn that and to see you are developing as a wife is beautiful.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
It is amazing. Tell us a little bit. So we are very familiar with a very busy schedule, like, travel, working with your mentees, and the comeback kids, and in a company of copacetic leaders. There's a lot of pour, right? So we talk about dual dominion. There's a lot of pour that happens. What are some of the things that you all do to make sure you're not, pouring from an empty cup? Because with the way our marriage is, I've got to make sure he's full. He's got to make sure I'm full. So share with us some of the things that you all do to make sure the other person's never depleted, because this is not easy. What we do is not easy. So how do you make sure you're full?
Well, one of the things I think that he has definitely, I like when Gerald said, was studying me, learning me, because you can pour and pour and pour and go and go and go. But what he's learned is that I need those check-ins with just connecting. Like, intimacy levels is so beautiful on so many levels when you're married. And your thought of intimacy and everything, like how important it is with physical touch, embrace, just to check in. Like, we like eat together. We got a routine where we gonna watch a show, so the practical things, sitting outside, drinking coffee, and making sure that we spending that time filling each other up. I know, and I've learned where I'm more of a fit. I need a lot of hugs and stuff and physical. What he needs a lot of affirmation, and I'll be like, "Have I told you today? Oh my God!" Like, and it's genuine. He's like, "Nah, you ain't tell me." And it's like, "Oh, you're just amazing. I love the way you care for me. I love the way you provide for me. I love the way you look out, the way he look at me, the way he cares for me, like he's aware of me." And I sometimes I'll be like, man, I literally be like, God, how did I get this kind of love? Like, how you give me the perfect person that fit and just get me, like my different sides. So that's what, when we doing the practical, And then we keep the main thing. When I tell you, we'll flat out get the, oh, yeah, yes, Lord. Oh, we'll tear it up. We shouting. So we allow God we have a good, solid private devotion with our own personal life to keep a good balance. And then we have our devotion that we do with our praise and our worship and, time with God like that. And then a lot of practical is what I feel like has been so good for me. But yeah, what's yours? What you be doing to what?
When she go in, I go in.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
So really worshiping, praising, praying together and individually. And we have a lot of people that follow our ministry and maybe their spouse isn't there yet. And we love to be able to show where God can take you so that people don't give up. So that, you may look at our relationship or your relationship and think, well, throw your hands up. My spouse isn't doing that. My spouse doesn't understand me. But we have to individually, we can only take care of ourselves. And we share all the time on Marriage Works that if you work it, a sanctified wife can sanctify a husband, and a sanctified husband can sanctify a wife. And God will give you supernatural strategies and strength in order to hold on until you get to where we are almost 25 years in, or where you all are almost 2 years in. This is where God wants us to be in dual dominion. This is so that we can continue working toward that agreement that God wants for us, so we can pull things down, literally pull things down as it is in heaven. So shall it be in the earth. So we can decree and declare a thing and see it become established. This is what God is looking for. So we're always reminding people not to give up. We're always encouraging people to get the circle you need, the community you need, the resources you need to hold on so that you can enjoy a strong kingdom marriage. Would you like to maybe say some closing remarks and share with the people anything you're doing, upcoming events, something to kind of close us out tonight?
My introvert word limit.
His words limit is
word count. But seriously, we just really enjoyed this. I just want to say this, because it's when you say 25 years, I remember when people say they was married 10 years, 20 years, it's just like, you with the same person, like, that's boring, or, you don't have a concept. But now I'm learning, like, man, I really honor people that's been married for decades and, 20 and 30 years and stuff like that. It's like, wow, because what you all are doing is marriage works if you work it. And being even a year and a half in, I thank God that for me, never being married and experiencing that my husband come with experience. I tell him, man, I appreciate the experience because you are a blessing. And then also get married older. For me, I would have gotten this kind of man would have probably been jacked up. And so, I say to people that feel like they're getting older, wait on God, trust God, don't compromise and don't settle. Because, you don't want to compromise and settle, because what God has for you, he has for you. And it will just be that Ephesians 3:20 for you. I also want to say that marriage can be fun. It's beautiful. And I really am very intentional at everything I post, because I want to show people who have always seen me as strong leader, and the stigma that strong women who lead in ministry can't submit, can't come under, and don't know how to be led and don't know how to be good wives. So I take pride, well, let me not use the word pride. I take joy and pleasure in being Tommy's wife over anything, like over coach, over prophetess. Like, that's good, but I like wife, So I want to say that to people that value their assignment. Yeah, ministry is fun, it's exciting, but you cannot be so focused on being everything to everybody that you're not showing up at home. You know, like you can't be preaching and prophesying and traveling and pouring out, but then you have no patience, no love, no long suffering, no kindness. You cannot be kind, unkind to your husband or your spouse, but kind to people. You can't.
Uh-oh, come on.
I'm gonna say this, and I got a few more minutes. I'm at it right now. I'm and I got a couple more words, but no, this is important for people that are single. Is also like, you know, I'm not going to put, you know, like I forgot what I was saying, but I love being his wife, and you know, I don't want people to be so caught up in doing the work of the ministry and feel like, man, I'm just trying to, you know, do this and do that, and you just don't even show up at home. So I like to serve. I don't care if we been on the road and I'm not the best cook. It's not about the cooking. It's about him knowing I'm gonna meet his needs. I want to serve him. I want to make sure, because why? He fills me up, and this is he's been on the road with me. He's covered me. He's did this. So it comes with the reciprocating, and so. So I just want to encourage those that are listening that there is love. You will find love, and if you're not experiencing, don't compare your marriage to anybody.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I don't. You know, oh my God, I value and love the Bentons. Okay, you guys are the marriage, but you gotta stay in your home. Like, don't go on social media and try to force what is probably acting and, you know, them acting and it's not really being real. And just really focus on your house, your marriage, your family, and, you know, without comparing, because social media have you idolizing what's happening with others and mishandling what you have in front of you. So yeah, you want to make sure you do that. And so I'm excited, and we got a lot of travel coming up. The Lord gave us a little bit of a break to prepare for our move, and now we're back on the road, and we'll post the itinerary so you can catch us. But we're gonna be at Dual Dominion for sure.
Yes, we're excited, and while you say that, we're gonna show one promo for our Dual Dominion conference, and then we'll be right back to kind of wrap it up. Yay! So if you are interested in the conference, we will be at Hilton Atlanta Airport the 25th, 26th, and 27th. For those who are registered, it'll start right at 9 a.m. We're going to be jam-packed. Apostle Melvin Thompson will be there. Our pastor Samuel Giles will be teaching and ministering. Both of our mentoring groups will be convening from all over the world. We're super excited that Coach Sophia Wilson will be there, and Coach Tommy will be there as well. We're just anticipating. We're in great anticipation of what God's going to say concerning Dual Dominion. So get to the conference. The evenings are free. Our evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they are free and open to the public. But you want to register so you can get the information, the activation, and the impartation of Dual Dominion. Whether you're married or single or believe in God for restoration, God can use one person. Ask me how I know. God can use one person to literally turn some things around so you can have the Dual Dominion God has called for you to have. So we have to remind the people, marriage works
if you work it.
Marriage works if you work it. And before we close, you know, we have a jingle, Coach. Our coaches, you may not know, but we have a whole jingle. and our people would be so hurt if we don't do the jingle. So we ask people to put up the music notes so they can get the jingle that we have to remind them. So when they're in the kitchen, you know, washing dishes, this jingle kind of gets in their head and makes a difference. It makes some changes. So we see the music notes. You ready?
Marriage works if you work it. 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 Hey!
I love it.
That's amazing.
That's our favorite way to end fiery topics and marriage. When we have fiery topics to discuss on our podcast, Marriage Works If You Work It podcast will be on all of the streaming. What is it on Spotify? It's on Apple. We're always excited for that. We are right now on our Gerald and Yvette Ministries Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So we're going to say good night to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this with other people. We will see you on another episode of Marriage Works If You Work It. Don't forget to share this on your page, like it, and tell other individuals. Guess what? You can have dual dominion, ruling and reigning together.
Thank y'all. That was good. They're going to come back.